Just felt I wanted to share a dream that I just recently had. Dreamt I was in a room, and in the room there were 3 people. And by the entrance, by the door of the room, was an angel. And the angel was white wings, and he was wearing a white garment, and he was flapping his wings. His lips were twisted like a DNA strand, like a helix. And that was about it. And then the angel was saying, they're coming. And if they come and they find something in you, something like that, and then his message had negative connotations, and I believe it's a warning of whoever the accusers are coming. And then in the dream, I got the interpretation of the dream as well. I began to explain to the people what the dream meant in the dream. And I began to talk about sin, iniquity, and transgression. And I began to say there are 3 things: sin, iniquity, and transgression, and these 3 are different. And sin is falling short, or missing the mark. And transgression is breaking the law. And iniquity is a twisting forth of your DNA. And I began to say, if the angel's lips were twisted like a DNA, that means the message that he has brought us, or me, is about DNA, restructuring and resequencing of our DNA. And him, for warning and saying they are coming, is warning us of the accusers and legal rights, that if they come and they see our DNA twisted and not resequenced, they will have legal rights to accuse us before the Father, and their assignment will be fulfilled. And I began to explain to them what iniquity was further on. And I began to say to them, remember Isaiah was touched by a coal on his lips, and the iniquity was purged. And I began to say things like iniquity. Sometimes you see, if you know that you're plagued by iniquity, there's when there's a repetitive cycle of a certain thing in your life. If great-grandfather X was an alcoholic, and he drank so much alcoholism, but he engaged so much in that sin to the point where his DNA was twisted, rest assured his genealogy will struggle with alcoholism. I need to explain to these people. And they asked me, so how do we deal then with our iniquity, so that these who are supposedly coming will not find anything in us, just like the devil couldn't find anything in Jesus? And I say to them, Christ has given us a remedy. Eat his flesh and drink his blood. Simple. Take communion. Take communion and drink him. I believe God is after the deepest parts of every human being. And in Psalms, David writes, let truth dwell in my inner parts. And the opposite of truth is iniquity. Corinthians 13, love does not rejoice in iniquity but in truth. The opposite of iniquity is truth. Where truth is absent, we believe a lie. And when we continue to believe that lie will result in the twisting forth of our DNA structure. And when our DNA structure is twisted forth, we begin to behave according to the new pattern of our DNA. And this gives the enemy, or whoever the angel was warning, saying they're coming, legal rights to come and hook themselves upon our lives and drag us according to the will. But then Jesus says, let truth dwell in your inner parts. For truth alone can suppress and destroy iniquity. And when he says let truth dwell, he's not saying memorize my word or memorize me, but let there be a deep consciousness of truth himself, Yeshua. Because truth is not words, truth is a person. And when we begin to engage on the truth of his blood and body, we will change. It is not just taking communion, it is understanding what is behind this, what this symbolizes. That's what Paul meant when he said discerning the Lord's body. It's grasping the truth of what the word is saying about Yeshua. And I do not know who the angels warned that they are coming, but his warning sound negative. And he was saying they are coming. And if they find your DNA not straight, or if they find your DNA not resequenced, they have a hold on you. So I would just say to whoever is listening what I said and what I got in the dream, that take communion, engage with the blood and the blood of Yeshua every day, every morning. Bring your blood before him and ask him to drain forth your physical life form and insert in him his blood, that we may be transformed light beings. Thank you. Praise be